BWCA for the next 20 years. The ban includes 350 square miles in the Superior National Forest in the Rainy River watershed near Ely. That's right where Twin Metals was looking to build its underground copper-nickel mine. This area has been the center of political turmoil throughout the last 3 presidential administrations. But a key cabinet member for Biden says the move today is based on 3 key components: supporting a healthy watershed and wildlife, upholding tribal trust, and boosting the local recreation economy. Now, while Twin Metals has cited the rich source of critical minerals in this region, others are worried about the potential of acid runoff going into the boundary waters. And in the wake of today's decision, there's been no shortage of reaction from folks on both sides and those who would have been directly impacted by the construction of that Twin Metals proposed copper-nickel mine. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp heard from them today.
This really puts America on the path of giving this wilderness area the protection that it desperately deserves.
Very happy environmental groups like Save the Boundary Waters say the Biden's administration move Thursday will not just protect precious waterways, but also uphold tribal trust and boosting the local recreation economy.
This type of mining, which is extremely acid generating, extremely polluting, it poses a threat that's far too large to the boundary waters.
But for most northern Minnesota lawmakers, including Republican Representative Spencer Igoe, Thursday's move was deeply disappointing, and they say blocks several federal government goals.
The delegation of Northern Minnesota, the Iron Range delegation, is not very happy, and we're hearing from our constituents and penning letters and working with our congressmen to try and fix this situation.
A decision directly impacting Twin Metals.
I could go on and on, jobs, sustainability, domestic supply chain, safety, security. All of these things have been affected by Joe Biden's decision today, President Joe Biden's decision.
The Twin Metals mine would have been near both Babbitt and Ely. Leaders say they were hoping to reap the rewards of a big project in the area.
I appreciate the fact that every school district in the state gets money from the school trust land, and that's money that every district uses and every district needs right now.
Ely Mayor Heidi Amerza said that although it is upsetting, this news is nothing new to the area.
Pretty much same old. And it's very disappointing.
In Duluth, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
We reached out to Twin Metals hoping to learn more about what comes next on their end. While they didn't directly comment on that, company spokespeople did say they're committed to enforcing Twin Metals' rights.